lot less traffic on the 210 freeway here, but for a while there, lots of traffic on the 5 South. But here we go eastbound on the 210 freeway, being pursued by at least 4 CHP cruisers, and looks like 1 CHP on a motorcycle here. But yeah, coming through Sylmar now. Adam, just off your left, I have you.
And just so our viewers know, Mark is actually flying that helicopter, Sky 5 HD. So from time to time, he'll have to talk to other helicopters, talk to air traffic control. The last we know now, he's going eastbound on the 210 freeway into the Sylmar area. Officer Mike Harris, we see that you have at least 2 CHP vehicles following behind the State Ranger vehicle. There are times, and there's 2 more, at least 4 then, we know there are times when you think, okay, we back off and let this guy tire himself out. This clearly is not one of those instances. Mike Harris, you with us from CHP? Yes, yeah, just saying that there are times the strategy is to de-escalate the situation by backing off and pulling officers away, but this doesn't seem to be the kind of a situation in which you would employ that tactic.
You know, pursuits are very fluid, and we definitely have to take them on a case-by-case basis. You know, the severity of this situation, they're in a patrol vehicle. The patrol vehicle has weapons in it. You kind of have to weigh the dangers of allowing somebody like this to go into society, you know, not being followed versus staying with them and doing your best to apprehend them. And that's what the officers on the scene are going to do, and the supervisors are going to coordinate.
And we see that in this case, that vehicle does seem to be coming apart because of the collisions. I don't know if our viewers, if you're just joining us right now, we can show you some video in a double box here. Okay, in a moment we'll be able to show you the video, but we were overhead in Sky 5 HD as this vehicle tried to wedge itself through some others. It was on New Hole Ranch Road at Sierra when it actually collided with some other vehicles at high speed. Here's the video right now, right through those vehicles, and then hit in the rear quarter panel there as it went through. The car seems to be stopping. Mark Kono, tell us what's happening right now.
Yeah, eastbound 210, Frank, right through the heart of Sylmar here, just before Polk is where this guy has elected to pull over here. He looks like he's in the number 4 lane, and not sure if he's ready to give up yet. We'll see at this point, but he did either stop or maybe ran out of gas. We don't know, but here he is. He's not, as of yet, coming out of the vehicle, but, you know, the CHP behind him is setting up to make the arrest, and, you know, hopefully, you know, once they coax him out of the vehicle.
And Officer Mike Harris, you see that we see a number of CHP vehicles deployed behind this Park Ranger vehicle, at least 1 suspect. We believe possibly 2 suspects in this vehicle. As you were saying, this is a highly abnormal pursuit in that it was CHP officers pursuing a State Park Ranger vehicle, another law enforcement vehicle with suspects in it, possibly with weapons in it. How do you treat this any differently than any other felony stop?
Well, I mean, you can see that the officers are taking the steps that they need to be as safe as possible. You know, you can tell that they do have the multiple officers on scene, and they're going to treat this as an extremely high-risk stop based on the actions of the driver and the fact that there are confirmed weapons in the vehicle. You know, they're obviously going to take every step that they can to make it as safe as possible.
We obviously cannot hear what's being said, but one would presume as these officers approach that they've been instructed via loudspeaker to what? Put their hands on the steering wheel, make sure their hands are visible?
Absolutely, yeah. You know, they're going to go through the different steps that they're known in the process that we have for making our felony stops and giving our instructions to the drivers and passengers in the vehicle.
All right, there's suspect number 1 coming out, and if you go back, Mark, for a second, it looked like suspect number 2 is coming out of the vehicle on the driver's side. Mark, what do you see in there?
Yeah, suspect number 2, or in other words, the driver, just being pulled out of the pulled out of the cabin there, and there he is lying on the ground there. Now, you know, interesting to note, just a couple of minutes ago, we did hear over the police radios some chatter about the suspect or one of these guys being on a 911 call and requesting an ambulance. So maybe that you know, leads us to believe that there may be some sort of an injury here. But there he is lying on the ground. You know, they're not making too much efforts, you know, to apprehend him, although, you know, it is clear to us that he is you know, in custody. But there you have it, the driver of the vehicle right there on the ground.
So it's possible, one of the initial reports, as we said, suggested that there were shots fired by the state park rangers at these suspects. We had a report that it was that one of these suspects had been injured or wounded in some way. Given the fact that you've heard that Officer Harris, that there was a 911 call possibly from this park ranger vehicle requesting an ambulance, that suggests that yes, indeed, one of them was injured.
Yeah, just reading on the log, it does say that their landline with the parties on 911, and they were requesting an ambulance that the party had requested based on the fact that he'd been shot.